Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of Verdict 2015 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are today's headlines. Campaigning for the first phase of elections in Bihar to draw to a close today. 49 constituencies to vote on October 12th in the first phase. Prime Minister Modi scales up his offensive against the Grand Alliance, asks people to beware of Jungle Raj too. Police in Gaya arrest a Maoist foiling a major attack there. Several materials used for making explosives recovered. And we throw the spotlight on Bhagalpur today. Once the Silk City of India, the district is now only a shade of what it used to be. We bring you the ground reality. Well, our focus on the Bihar election campaign. Campaigning for the first phase of elections will end today. Voting for the first phase in 49 constituencies will be held on October 12th. 586 candidates are in the fray for the phase 1 in 10 districts. 10 seats in Samastipur, 7 seats each in Begusarai and Bhagalpur, 5 each in Banka and Nawada, 4 each in Khagaria and Jamui, 3 in Munger and 2 each in Lakhisarai and Shekhpura will go to polls. Morwa and Moyuddin Nagar seats in Samastipur have maximum of 18 candidates each. Varsaliganj in Nawada has a minimum of 6 candidates.
लोगों ने तो निश्चित रूप से कोशिश की जनता विकास के मुद्दा से भटक जाए इस बात की, लेकिन एनडीए ने लगातार कोशिश की है, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कोशिश की है, हम सब ने कोशिश की है डेवलपमेंट ही इस चुनाव का एजेंडा हो। और हमको खुशी है कि प्रथम चरण के मतदान के लिए आज प्रचार का अंतिम दिन है। जनता ने एनडीए का जो डेवलपमेंट एजेंडा है उसकी ओर ही ध्यान दिया है।
Well, joining me for a chat today to talk about this is Anirban Guha Roy, Assistant Editor of the Hindustan Times. Very good afternoon, Anirban, and thank you for joining us on the program. You know, the campaigning for the first phase of elections will draw to a close today, and we've seen a high-pitched campaign thus far, barbs and counter-barbs being made by members of the Grand Alliance and the NDA. What do you think is going to be a key focus as far as the first phase of polling is concerned?
Well, development is definitely a big agenda this time because both the NDA and the Grand Alliance are talking about the development. And this will be the main focus where the main issues will be the road and infrastructure and industries, and the Grand Alliance has been talking about according special status to Bihar for attracting more investment. The farm sector is a big issue where the farmers need more incentives for increasing productivity. That is also a big poll issue, and this time because Bihar is facing a drought, so the farmers are a bit miffed with the whole thing because they fear low productivity this time. But overall, the issues which are rallying in the poll campaign is development, and they want to, both the alliances, both the NDA and the Grand Alliances, talking about taking Bihar to new heights of development, making it a developed state.
You know, and what do you think the role of the Election Commission has been thus far in these polls? Can we expect a high voter turnout this time around, or what do you expect?
Definitely. If you take the trends of 2010 elections and 2005 elections, I believe the voter turnout has been very good. Last time in the 2014 election, the voter turnout was around 52 to 55%. So I believe this time also we can expect a high voter turnout. Maybe in the coming few phases when the festival season will be at its peak, that might have an effect on the voter turnout. But this time when the festivals have yet not started, I think the voter turnout will be really good.
You know, we've seen members of alliances, in fact, the Grand Alliance is going after, or especially Nitish Kumar of the JDU seems to be trying to woo the women voters by announcing quite a few SOPs for them. On the other hand, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaching out to the youth of Bihar, speaking about unemployment and how the BJP is going to change all of that. How much of a role or what key do the youth as well as the women voters hold in the Bihar polls?
See, the women voters have been a target group for the JDU since it came to power. The Nitish Kumar government had given reservations to women, 50% reservations to women in the panchayat and urban local bodies. That was a major step which the government took for empowering the women, and it yielded political dividends for the JDU and the NDA in the 2010 elections, because the voter turnout during the 2010 elections was really very high, and women were a big force who influenced voting. And definitely Prime Minister Modi is talking about giving jobs to youths. The aspiration level is very high, and youths are the target group because they comprise a large chunk of the voter base, and definitely employment, job, and better avenues for growth always attracts the youths. So it is very obvious that both the combinations are attracting women and youths to have a high voter turnout.
You know, Anil, but the question really is, of course, the BJP has been time and again being targeted by members of the Grand Alliance, saying that these are all lofty claims that were made in 2014 as well. But no delivery has been seen on any of these claims or any of these promises that have been made. So would you look at these as lofty claims from both sides, or would you say that some of these promises that are being made can be delivered upon?
See, in elections, it is very obvious for any combination to make claims, and that is a part of the whole poll campaign. That is why they come up with the manifestos, they make promises, and they also try to woo voters on some of the lofty claims. So that is very obvious. In 2014, we have seen in the past assembly elections in many other states, people have been talking about giving televisions, giving radios. So that is very obvious for any poll parties to talk about these things. But of course, as far as the BJP or the Grand Alliance, whatever they have claimed, the onus will be on them to prove it, because the voters have been voting for the development thing, and I think they have become more conscious from the past when like caste and other factors were the guiding factors. But this time the voters are very conscious, and this is the trend we have seen in the 2014 elections and in 2010 elections in Bihar, when development was a big factor, and people had voted for the development. They had voted for roads, they had voted for the infrastructure. So definitely, for any combination which comes to power, it will be very, very important for them to prove that they can deliver the results, or else they will be failing on the people's aspirations, to live up to the people's aspirations.
Indeed. Anil, do stay with us. I'm going to come back to you in just a bit for a reaction on another story that we're tracking here on Verdict 2015 as well. Moving on now, continuing from where he left off on Thursday, the Prime Minister lashed out at the Grand Alliance and called for a change in government in Bihar on Friday. After a hectic Thursday where he addressed 4 rallies, Modi addressed 2 rallies in Sasaram and Aurangabad yesterday. Here's a detailed report. Scaling up his Jungle Raj pitch, Prime Minister Narendra Modi warned that RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav will remote control the affairs in the state if the Grand Alliance came to power in Bihar.
जरा बिहार के लोग इतना तो पूछिए कि लालू जी इस बार चुनाव के बाहर क्यों है? रिमोट कंट्रोल से बिहार को चलाना चाहते हैं। वो कहते हैं मैं बिग बॉस हूं, बिग बॉस। मैं जैसा कहूंगा ऐसा इन लोगों को करना पड़ेगा।
Addressing a rally in Sasaram, the constituency of Dalit leader late Jagjeevan Ram, he also trained his guns on Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar for getting Jitan Ram Manjhi removed as the Chief Minister of the state and accused him of backstabbing Dalits.
उन्होंने वो पाप किया है जिस पाप की सजा बिहार दे के रहेगा एक दलित के बेटे को, जो बिहार का मुख्यमंत्री बना, उसकी पीठ पे छुरा भोंका गया और उसको सत्ता से बेदखल किया गया, अपने निजी स्वार्थ के लिए किया गया।
Manjhi, who now heads Hindustan Awam Morcha Secular, is an NDA ally, was also on the stage when Modi attacked Nitish on the issue of Dalits. Modi also targeted all the 3 parties of the alliance, JDU, RJD and the Congress, on the issue of governance, asking as to what development they carried out in the last 60 years when they ruled the state.
ये स्वार्थ बंधन है, कुर्सी का स्वार्थ है, इसलिए ये चुनाव में इकट्ठे होकर के आए हैं। अब उनका जिम्मा है वे 60 साल के अपने काम का हिसाब दें।
BJP has been targeting the Grand Alliance, saying with Lalu being a part of it, there will be Jungle Raj too in Bihar if the combine came to power. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Meanwhile, Home Minister Rajnath Singh addressed a rally in Moinuddinpur in Patna a short while back. He said that there should not be any attempt made to divert attention from the main issue of development in Bihar. Let's take a listen in.
मुख्यमंत्री यदि कहेगा कि हमारे पास फोर्स नहीं है, पुलिस बल नहीं है, तो मैं कहूंगा यदि आपके पास पुलिस बल की कमी पड़ती है तो केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा जितने भी पुलिस बल की आवश्यकता होगी वो मैं मुहैया कराऊंगा। बहनों भाइयों, आपको मान सम्मान और स्वाभिमान के साथ जीने का हक हासिल हम कराएंगे। यह आपको भरोसा और विश्वास देकर जाएगा।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एनडीए के लोग लगातार बिहार के विकास के लिए बात करते रहे हैं, बिहार के भविष्य के लिए बात करते रहे हैं और बिहार किस प्रकार से उन्नत राज्य बने इसकी बात करते रहे हैं। लेकिन जिन लोगों को विकास से चिढ़ है, जिन लोगों को विकास पर भरोसा और विश्वास नहीं है, उन लोगों ने मुद्दों को भटकाने का जरूर प्रयास किया।
ये कांग्रेस बहुत मजबूती से हम 41 सीटों पर लड़ रहे हैं और हम विश्वास करते हैं कि हम काफी ज्यादा संख्या में जीत के आएंगे और सरकार बनाने में कांग्रेस की बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहेगी।
Well, the Gaya police has arrested a dangerous Maoist, Sunil Dangi. Police have also recovered various items which are used in explosions from him. Heavy explosives have been recovered from him. There were other Maoists with him when he was arrested, but they managed to give the police a slip. However, with this arrest and recovery, a major attack in Gaya has been averted.
हमारा सूचना तंत्र हम लोगों ने मजबूत किया है। हमारे जो फोर्सेज हैं बहुत एक्टिव हैं। पिछले हाल के दिनों में आप देखेंगे कि हम लोग उनको नाकाम करने में सफल रहे हैं और आगे भी उम्मीद करते हैं कि अगर भगवान का साथ रहा तो हम लोग अपनी मुस्तैदी से उसको असफल करेंगे।
Let's now bring in Anirban Guha Roy, Assistant Editor of the Hindustan Times, into the picture once again and speak to him about the Maoist threat, of course, for these polls. Anirban, as far as some seats in some districts are concerned, the Maoists still pose a threat. But do you believe that they still pose a serious threat, or is it something that can be averted like this threat by the officials on the ground?
Well, the Maoist problem is there, and Maoist problem has been there, which was very chronic and very intense during mid 2000 and early 2000. But somehow the action against the Maoists by the police in the last one decade, I think they have lost much of their base and much of their supporters in their strongholds, be it Aurangabad, be it Gaya, be it Jahanabad, and be it in some pockets of Jamui. Of course, they have some strong base in Jamui. But overall, the policing and the effective steps which have been taken by the state administration over the last one decade and has been effective in controlling their menace in their own strongholds. And they have lost much of their supporters. So these kind of threats usually come during elections just to reinforce their own ideology and they don't have faith on the parliamentary democracy. So these are tactics which the ultra-left outfits usually adopt during elections just to be in the limelight. But overall, I believe the Maoists have lost much of their stronghold and much of their base in Bihar, and that is not going to be a big threat for the polls which are supposed to start, which are scheduled to start from October 12th.
Indeed, in the past we've seen that polls in Bihar especially have been marred by violence and poll rigging and several such activities. What about these polls? Do you expect any kind of violence, any kind of poll rigging, or do you expect it to go on smoothly?
Well, this time Bihar being going for a standalone elections across the state, there is no dearth of paramilitary forces and security personnel. And the Election Commission has already said that they will depute a static force and paramilitary force in all the booths. That's around 60,000 odd booths in the state. So, I think when there will be heavy deployment of force, and as it is a staggered election, it is going on for 5 phases. So there the movement of force from one constituency to other will not be a problem. So I don't think there will be much bloodshed or violence. Maybe there could be some stray incidents in some pockets, but that could be just stray incidents, we can say. I do not see myself see a big bloodbath or big violence during the polls. This will go very smoothly, I presume.
All right, Anirban Guha Roy, we'll have to leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this afternoon and putting things into perspective for us. Moving on now, the Election Commission has expressed anguish at some of the speeches during the campaigns for the Bihar Assembly polls. The Election Commission said such speeches are aimed at causing mutual hatred and urged politicians to show restraint. The panel's reaction comes amid politicians using rallies to target each other viciously ahead of the elections. On Friday, RJD moved the Election Commission against Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his remarks against party chief Lalu Prasad. On Thursday, Modi took on Lalu Prasad at a rally in Munger, accusing the former Bihar Chief Minister of targeting him through controversial remarks. Lalu too slammed Modi, blaming him for using disparaging and insulting language against him and the Yadav community. The RJD complaint said that the remarks coming from none other than the Prime Minister disturbed the political atmosphere and the idea of free elections. They urged the poll panel not to allow him to address further rallies.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जिस तरह की भाषा का कल इस्तेमाल किया, वो सिर्फ लालू प्रसाद जी के लिए ही नहीं, सब लोगों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री के पद की गरिमा के अनुरूप नहीं है। हमने इलेक्शन कमीशन से दरखास्त की कि उनकी आने वाली रैलियों पर न सिर्फ उनके पर रोक लगाया जाए, बल्कि उन पर समुचित कार्रवाई की जाए। और हमने कहा कि न सिर्फ ये मॉडल कोड 2 और 3 जनरल कंडक्ट का वायलेशन है, बल्कि 153 जो पब्लिक पीस को थ्रेट करने की कोशिश करता है इंडियन पीनल कोड का, उसकी धारा का भी वायलेशन है।
Well, it's time for a short break now, but much more lined up for you on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It has become more relevant to India to use this technology, microbial leaching of metals from ores, because we have already depleted our rich mineral reserves. I realized that actually many microbes produce nanoparticles, but only we didn't know that they should be called as nanoparticles. And that's how we actually developed a technology, which is again a microbial technology for extracting arsenic from water.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Partnikar, Director, Agharkar Research Institute on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, Bihar's Chief Minister Nitish Kumar addressed a rally in Begusarai yesterday. Continuing with the scathing attack on BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Kumar said that the BJP is playing divisive politics in the state to win votes.
अगर बिजली नहीं पहुंचती मोदी जी, तो ये जो लोकसभा के चुनाव में आपका टेलीविजन पर जो प्रचार होता था, अब की बार मोदी सरकार, ये बच्चा टेलीविजन देख के कहने लगा मम्मी पापा अब की बार मोदी सरकार, वह लाभ लेके गए। इतना भी एहसान नहीं है। अरे हम बिजली गांव में नहीं पहुंचाते तो टेलीविजन वाला प्रचार कोई देखता नहीं, अरे आपको वोट नहीं भेटाता।
Meanwhile, BSP chief Mayawati also kicked off her party's election campaign for Bihar by addressing a rally in poll-bound Banka's Barahat district yesterday. Attacking the BJP, former Uttar Pradesh chief minister said that the BJP is conspiring to abolish the reservation rights of the weaker sections of the society. She also attacked the Prime Minister for making false promises since coming to power. Starting today, former UP chief minister Mayawati is expected to address 12 rallies over a span of 6 days in Bihar. BSP is contesting in all the 243 seats.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी और अन्य पार्टियों के नेताओं की तरह हमने कोई आश्वासन नहीं दिया था। हमने बिना आश्वासन दिए हुए वहां के लोगों की जरूरत को महसूस करते हुए हमने करके दिखाया।
Well, once the silk city of India, Bhagalpur is now only a shade of what it used to be. Highly skilled weavers are struggling to make ends meet with the handloom industry fights to survive. The current situation is also forcing the next generation to veer away from this highly skilled art, threatening to wipe out this skill once and for all. Vishal Dahiya brings you this report from Bhagalpur, and I'm going to leave you with this. See you again next time.
भागलपुर One of the oldest towns in Bihar was once known as the Silk City of India. Thousands of weavers used to weave complex designs, churning out masterpieces one after the other. However, the Silk City of India has now lost its sheen, and the highly skilled weavers are struggling to make ends meet. We travelled to the Silk City to find out the problems plaguing them and what went wrong for an industry which not only made Bhagalpur famous but also provided profitable business for all those involved. And soon we came face to face with reality.
जी असल बात है कि मैं तो देख रहा हूँ 1968 ईस्वी से लोग पेपर पर लिखने आते थे, जैसे आप रिकॉर्डिंग करने आ जाए हैं, उस समय हम लोगों का दुखड़ा जो है वो पेपर पर लिख के जाते थे, लेकिन दिनों प्रतिदिन बाजार की हालतें बड़ी खराब होती थी.
Handlooms are now rare to find. They've now been replaced by power looms which save both time and money.
ये बहुत दिनों से तानी मशीन है, ये बीम बनाने के पहले जो प्रोसेस होता है वो यहाँ इस पर होता है. अब ये टूटी फूटी हालत में पड़ा के जब हैंडलूम चलता ही नहीं है तो फिर ये तानी बनाया जाए किस लिए.
Weavers of Bhagalpur's silk industry do not have very complex demands. Just like any other small-scale industry, they're also looking for an improved power supply, easy finances from banks, and some help in marketing their final product. But years of neglect by successive governments have compounded their problems, forcing them to fend for themselves.
On being prodded, they narrated their agony.
रॉ मटेरियल, मार्केटिंग, पूंजी, इस बिना पे जो है ये रोजगार ध्वस्त होते जा रहा है और ख़त्म होते जा रहा है, लोग पलायन कर रहे हैं.
समझिए सर, आज के दौर में हर चीज़ का बुनकरों को दिक्कत है. बुनकर जो खुद अपने आप में बुनाई पेशा में एक इंजीनियर महसूस करता है, चूँकि कोई भी पूरे दुनिया में कोई भी सैंपल अगर बनता है और यहाँ चंपानगर भागलपुर में वह सैंपल दिया जाता है, हूबहू यहाँ के बुनकर उतार देते हैं, उस सैंपल को एकदम 100% मिला देते हैं.
The income is meager compared to the hours spent working, insufficient for survival.
2 रुपया 3 रुपया 4 रुपया मीटर मिलता है, वही 10-15 मीटर 16 मीटर 10 घंटा में बिनते हैं. गुजारा तो मुश्किल से होता है लेकिन करना पड़ता है, और क्या करें.
औसतन यहाँ पे 70 से 80 रुपये से ज़्यादा मजदूरी नहीं होता. एक दिन में 4 आदमी काम करता है तो उसको 250-300 रुपया होता है.
इसलिए परिवार का सब लोग,
हाँ, सब लोग मिलजुल के काम करते हैं, उसके बाद किसी तरह से रोजी रोटी उसकी चलती है.
Considering the present situation, it seems unlikely that the next generation will take to the family profession.
मजबूरी है, इसीलिए अपने बाल बच्चों को इस काम में नहीं डाला, एम्ब्रॉयडरी काम में डाल दिया हूँ.
इस काम में
एम्ब्रॉयडरी एक लड़का सिलाई में है.
इतनी कारीगरी रहने के बाद भी आज सरकार की तवज्जो नहीं रहने के कारण आज ये बुनकर जो है बदहाल हो रहा है, परेशान हो रहा है. बुनाई काम करना नहीं चाहता, वो चाहता कि दूसरा काम कर लें, ठेला खींचेंगे, 10% महाजन जिसको पहुंचाएंगे तुरंत मिल जाएगा. लेकिन यहाँ काम करके भी मजदूरी नहीं मिलता और भूखे रहना पड़ता है.
Weavers say a dedicated market for them to sell their products will help them financially.
मटेरियल भी हम लोग लगा देते हैं और जब माल बनता है, बनने के बाद जब हम लोग बेचने के लिए मार्केट में जाते हैं तो मजदूरी से भी कम भी हमको पैसा मिलता है. इसलिए हम कितना बार कहे कि सरकार हम लोगों का ऐसा व्यवस्था करे कि हमने जो अपना माल तैयारी किए हैं और वो उचित रेट में बिक जाए. कपड़ा अगर 100 रुपये मीटर लागत उसमें आता है तो बेचने जब जाते हैं वो 40 रुपये मीटर लगाते हैं बाजार में. कहीं इसका बाजार तो है नहीं जो जाके मैं जाऊं और उस बाजार में कहीं प्रमाणित दुकान हो, हम दे दें, हम मुझे पैसे मिल जाए. दुकान गली गली घूमना पड़ता है.
Education of their children is a cause of major concern. Finances are insufficient and existing facilities are not up to the mark.
मजदूरी के अलावा जो बुनकर परिवार को परेशानी है वो अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाने के सिलसिले में है. वो उसका बच्चा पढ़ नहीं पाता है, छोटे छोटे बच्चे काम में लग जाते हैं और सरकारी स्कूल उस लेवल का नहीं है जहाँ पे तालीम हो.
Weavers say lack of government support forced them to switch from indigenous तसर silk to Chinese silk yarn.
कोकून बिहार में बनता था, जांग पे बैठ के वो धागा बनाया जाता था कोकून से. अब वो कारीगर वो बूढ़े लोग रही नहीं. अगर वैसा धागा का वार्प किया जाए तो 5 घंटे में भी 1 मीटर नहीं बिन सकेगा। और इसलिए चाइनीज़ धागा जो आया तो वो टेक्निकल नया टेक्निक से बना, नया कंप्यूटराइज से बना, और वो जो 1 घंटा में 1 मीटर इजी वे में होता।
देसी का भी बाजार बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो गया। आज तो ऐसा है कि किसी घर में देसी का नामो निशान नहीं। 100 घर अगर होगा तो बाजार में बिक्री है नहीं कपड़े का। बाजार को जाते हैं बेचने के लिए, गली गली घूमते हैं, वो लगाता है 150 रुपये मीटर को, तो फिर 250 रुपये मीटर का लगाता है, 150 में अगर बेचें तो मेरा पूंजी भी चला गया।
Another reason for Chinese silk yarn's dominance in this area is closure of 2 spun mills. Former employees of these mills blame government apathy for the shutdown almost 2 decades ago.
आज करीब 20 साल से बंद है। 400 आदमी यहाँ पर काम करते थे, सभी बेकार हैं। मोटा मोटी वर्किंग कैपिटल समय पर नहीं मिलना, पार्ट्स नहीं मिलना, बिजली का प्रॉब्लम, हमेशा घाटा लगता रहा है।
नवासी का दंगा था, तो धीरे धीरे जहाँ माल आना बंद हो गया, तो उसके बाद फैक्ट्री पूरी तरह से बंद है। बंद होने के बाद जो है धीरे धीरे फिर यहाँ गार्ड नहीं रहा, 3 महीना के बाद भूखे ड्यूटी किया। धीरे धीरे यहाँ की संपत्ति उठते चला गया, नींद में कुछ है नहीं।
As we bid goodbye to the city, the highly skilled weavers go back to work as the handlooms and powerlooms continue to be their solitary source of income. With camera person Prashanta Karmakar, Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Bhagalpur.